Hey guys, welcome to this really fun yoga today. We're going to have my mom in the chair. She will be doing all the poses seated. And then we will also have myself on the mat. So we'll be able to do two forms of yoga with this one video. Grab your mat and let's get started. So let's start seated. Nice comfortable position. If you're in the chair, feet are flat on the floor. Nice tall spine. And if you're on the mat, just come into a comfortable seat with a nice tall spine. And let's just take a few breaths here. Getting ready for this practice today. Now we're going to come into our child's pose. So if you're in the chair, keep your feet planted on the ground. And all you're going to do is bring your hands to your knees. You're going to hinge at the hips, coming forward, keeping a nice flat back, and relaxing the shoulders away from your ears. If you're on the mat, on your knees, you're going to bring the big toes to touch. Your seat is going to come to your feet with the tops of your feet on the mat. Knees could come as wide as the yoga mat. And walk the hands forward, resting the arms on the forehead. Taking a few deep breaths. If you're in the chair, you could slowly come back up and then just roll the shoulders back. If you're on the mat, we're going to come back up to our hands and knees on all fours. And let's take a big breath when we get there. Now let's do a few rounds of seated cat and cow. And if you're in the chair or if you're on the mat, it's going to go the same exact way. So on the inhale, you're going to drop the belly, lift up the chin, shoulder blades come together. And on the exhale, you're going to round the spine, dip your chin to your chest. Let's do that again. Inhale, belly drops, look up. Exhale, round the spine and dip the chin to the chest. And let's do that one more time. Inhale, belly drops, look up. And then exhale, round the spine, dip the chin to the chest. Good. Let's come back to a neutral spine. And we're going to come into our pigeon pose. So if you're in the chair, I want you to keep your left foot planted And you're going to bring your right foot to your left knee. And get comfortable here. It's okay if your knee is pointing towards the ceiling. Don't push too hard. However it falls. And now if you're on the mat, I want you to bring your right foot in between the hands for your low lunge, left leg long behind. And we're going to bring our right foot to the left side of the mat, dropping the right knee. And if it feels good, you can stay here, both in the chair and on the mat, or you could fold over. So you could bring your belly to your thigh and let the neck hang heavy and just relax here. This is a great hip stretch, opening up the inner thighs. Now we're going to switch sides, so slowly and mindfully come out. If you're on the chair, your right foot's going to come now down onto the floor. And then you're going to bring your left foot to the right knee. If you're on the mat, your right leg will come back to meet the left. And then we're going to switch, bringing the left foot to the top of the mat. Then you could shimmy it over to the right. And then drop that left knee towards the left side of the mat, squaring off the hips. And again, whatever feels good for you guys, you could fold over in this pose. If you're in the chair, you could even gently hinge at the hips. We're going to take a few big breaths here. Now let's slowly come out. If you're in the chair, planting the left foot next to the right. And if you're on the mat, you're going to bring your left leg back to meet the right and come into a comfortable seat. Now we're going to do a seated back bend here. So if you're in the chair, you could bring your arms over the side of your chair, reaching back, puffing out the chest and looking up. And if you're on the mat, you're going to plant your hands behind your seat and do the same thing. Puff out the chest and look up. Now let's release and take a big breath. Now let's do that one more time, puffing out the chest, looking up, shoulder blades together. And let's release. Now we're going to come into a little twist. Same applies for the chair and the mat for this one. So we're going to have a nice tall spine. Take a big inhale. And exhale, bring the right hand to the left knee and look over your left shoulder. Only come as far as feels comfortable for you here. And let's come back to center and switch sides. Let's now bring the left hand to the right knee, looking over the right shoulder. And let's come back to center. Now let's bring the legs wide. If you're in the chair, you could open up the knees. And if you're on the mat, I want you to bring your legs nice and long with the heels reaching to each end of your yoga mat. Only come as far as feels good. And when you guys are ready, big inhale, arms swoop overhead, reaching up. And exhale, folding over, hinging at the hips, nice and slow. Let everything go. And let's do that again. Big inhale, reach the arms overhead. Exhale, coming slowly forward, reaching for the floor, letting everything go. And let's do that one more time. Big inhale, reaching overhead. And exhale, reaching forward, hinging at the hips, letting everything go. Good, we're gonna gently come up. And whether you're in the chair or the mat, we're gonna bring the knees together. And let's take a big breath here. Good. We're gonna come into our boat pose. So if you're in the chair, I want you to have a nice tall spine, and you could also lean back into the chair. Keep the belly tight, and I want you to lift your feet off the ground, bringing the knees towards your belly, and the arms come long off the chair. So a nice balanced pose here, working the ab muscles. And if you're on the mat, I want you to do the same. Plant your feet on the ground and then bring them up. And you're gonna bring the arms out, spine nice and tall. And just breathe here. Let's hold it for a few more seconds. Keep the belly tight. And gently release the feet back to the ground. Good. Now, nice tall spine. We're going to reach the right arm all the way to the left. And you could grab the right elbow or the wrist, whatever works for you here. Getting a nice stretch in our shoulders. And then we're going to release this side. Now the left arm will come reaching towards the right. And you could grab the left elbow or the wrist with the right arm. Whatever feels comfortable here. And we'll release this side. Great. Let's stretch our neck a little bit. Let's drop the right ear to the right shoulder. Left fingertips could come out on the mat or off of your chair. And if it feels good, you could bring your right hand to the top of the head. Just a little gentle pressure. Make sure that your spine is tall and your neck is not uncomfortable. If it is, please release this pose. Just taking a few breaths on this side. And let's come back to center. We're going to switch sides. We're going to drop our left ear to the left shoulder. Right fingertips can come off of the chair or come crawling onto the mat. And then we can bring our left hand to the top of the head. Taking a few breaths here. And then we're going to exhale, release. Now we're going to come into eagle arms and legs. So, if you are in the chair, I want you to bring your right arm underneath the left and bring your left leg on top of your right leg, intertwining. Same with the arms, we're going to intertwine, elbows come up, clasping the hands at the top. If the eagle arm variation does not work for you, you could always just come to hug yourself, grabbing a hold of opposite shoulders. Now, if you're in the mat, I want you to do the same thing. Right arm comes underneath the left as the right leg is underneath the left. You could stack the knees. So eagle arms and legs here. And let's release. We're going to do the other side now. So bring that left leg to the bottom, right leg on top. Open the arms wide and bring the left arm underneath the right to either hug yourself here, grabbing opposite shoulders, or to do your eagle arms, interlacing the arms and clasping hands at the top. Make sure your elbows are up so you're getting that nice stretch in the shoulders. And let's release. And you could shake it out a little bit. Good. Let's do a little side body stretch. So if you're in the chair, we're going to take the right arm and reach it over to the left. So bringing those left fingertips down. And if you're on the mat, you're going to rest your left fingertips on the ground and bring your right arm reaching to the left. Make sure your neck is comfortable here. Now let's switch sides. Bring that right hand down to the mat or off of your chair and reaching the left arm to the right. Taking big breaths here. Good, let's come back to center. We're going to come into a low back and leg stretch here. So if you're in the chair, I want you to keep your right foot planted. And we're going to bring our left leg out, coming onto the heel of the left foot. Take a big inhale, nice tall spine. And exhale, you're going to walk your hands down your left leg and reach for the left toes. If you can't reach the toes, that's okay. Only come as far as feels good for you. Now, if you're on the mat, I want you to bring your right foot in and bring your left leg long. And take a big inhale. And exhale, walk your hands down. And same thing, reaching for the toes. But if you can't get there, go for the shin or the ankle. Big breaths here. Now let's slowly come up. And we're going to switch sides. If you're in the chair, you're going to keep the left foot planted and the right leg will come long with the toes pointing towards the ceiling. And you're going to reach for the right toe. If you're on the mat, left foot comes in, right leg comes long. And you're going to walk your hands down, reaching for your right toes. Take a few breaths here. Now we're going to come back to center. Now we're going to bring both legs out long. So if you're in the chair, both heels come out, toes pointing towards the ceiling. And if you're on the mat, you're going to bring both legs long. You could put a gentle bend in your knee if that feels better. And we're going to reach up overhead. And exhale. We're going to come down, reaching for our ankles or our toes, whatever feels good. Let the neck hang heavy. Big breaths here. Good. Let's slowly come out. And if you're on the mat, I want you to lay on your back now. We're going to take a quick banana pose. So if you're in your chair, I want you to slightly walk your feet over to the right. And you're going to bring your arms overhead, clasping hands at the top, and reach for the right. If this feels uncomfortable, you could always walk your feet back in. And if you're on the mat, I want you to bring your seat to the left side of the mat and bring your arms and legs long to the right. Make sure your seat is on the mat. Big breaths here. Good. Come back to center. Reset with a big breath. If you're in the chair, feet come to the left side, walking them over slightly. And big inhale, arms overhead, reaching up to the left, clasping hands. And if you're on the mat, seat comes to the right side of the mat. And hands come long to the left, legs come long to the left. For your banana pose on this side, take several breaths. And we're going to come back to center. If you're in the chair, drop your arms, roll the shoulders back a few times. And let's come into our final resting pose. If you're in the chair, I want you to become comfortable however that is. If you want to lean back in your chair, looking up slightly, or dipping your chin, looking down, whatever feels good. Arms could come off the chair, they can rest on your lap. If you're on the ground, same thing goes. Come into any pose that makes you feel good. Regular Shavasana with the arms long down by your side. Or you could do your reclined butterfly, feet together, knees pointing to opposite sides of the mat, hands resting on the belly. Close your eyes and just notice how you're feeling after this practice. Just focus on your breathing. On every inhale, the belly should come out. And on the exhale, the belly should deflate, letting everything go. Keep up the breath, relaxing all the muscles in your body. I invite you to stay here as long as you would like. Thank you all for practicing with me today. Special thanks to my mom for helping me make this video. Please hit the subscribe button and leave a comment below letting me know new videos you'd like to see in the future. With much gratitude and love, I thank you for practicing. Namaste.